Trader Joe's is really supportive of the kosher community, is always looking to expand the kosher line as best as they can. I started a Facebook group called Kosher Trader Joe's, and it has grown that group into a community of over nearly 75,000 people.
Hi, I'm Joanie Margulies. I'm the desk correspondent here at the Jerusalem Post, and today I am joined by Shelly Atlas Serber. She runs Kosher Trader Joe's, a social media account focused on hunting down kosher items at Trader Joe's, an American grocery store. Hi, thank you, Shelly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Welcome
me.
to the Jerusalem Post.
It's amazing. I'm so excited to be here.
You've been back. You're back in Israel for the first time in
25
Wow.
years. Yeah.
So what brought you back?
We had a family wedding on Thursday, which we're very excited about,
Yeah.
and it was just a great opportunity to say, you know what? It's time. My husband hasn't been here in 26 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm 25, so I don't know how we found tickets, but we made it happen, and we are beyond thrilled.
Well, we're so happy to have you back.
Thank you.
And even happier that you brought some amazing kosher Trader Joe's
I can't
snacks.
go anywhere without some kosher Trader Joe's snacks,
Exactly.
right?
So just for our viewers, you started this account on social media focusing on kosher finds from Trader Joe's.
Exactly.
Can you tell our viewers what Trader Joe's is?
Sure. So Trader Joe's is a national supermarket all around the States, but it's really more than that. It has what I say is a cult following. It has wonderful branding. The customer service cannot be beat. Really engaging, fun, kind employees that work there, who are always happy to chat and recommend new products, and just overall great people. And yeah, people love it when there's something new that comes out, and especially when it's kosher, it flies off the shelves, and people enjoy it in the States, and also a lot of people wait for the items for their family members who are coming from overseas and bring them home, whether it's to Israel, in my case to Australia, really all around the world. So the followers of Kosher Trader Joe's, it's mostly in the States, of course, but there's a really nice percentage of people from around the world that also love Trader Joe's and just love the vibe, love the fun, new products.
Is there anything like it in your native country of Australia?
Not really. We do bring a lot of things back from Australia when we go, like lamb and sausages and like Vegemite, the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I tend to bring Trader Joe's to Australia too.
And I'm sure that they appreciate
it. Oh, yeah.
Much.
Oh, yeah.
So Trader Joe's is, again, this massive, essentially household American name.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a giant grocery store with so many items. How do you track down these kosher items?
At this point, certainly the staples that are available all year, I basically know what they are throughout the store. One of the things about Trader Joe's, it's not one of these massive supermarkets where there's 100,000 products and 75 types of cereals. They really have a limited amount of each item, so it's easy to know what there is and what you like, what's kosher. Obviously, sometimes like breads on the West Coast, they may not be certified, where on the East Coast it is. Little things like that, but overall, people love Trader Joe's also when they travel. Every Trader Joe's has kosher chicken and turkey, and seasonally meat steaks, briskets they bring in for Pesach and for Hanukkah. We really want them all year. We're trying. So when you travel, you always know that if there's a Trader Joe's, you can eat kosher.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And there's a lot of Israeli products, which we're so excited about, like the Israeli feta. They have their own branded bamba.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a few types of bamba, actually. Dorot frozen cubes. Really great, probably 6 or 8 wines. Depending on the states, there are different laws of whether they can sell it. But overall, there's Israeli wines. It's just wonderful. The Trader Joe's is really supportive of the kosher community, is always looking to expand the kosher line as best as they can.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's wonderful for us.
So what inspired you to open this account?
I'm not
Tell
sure.
me about the early days.
So early on, there was a Facebook group of just general recipes. And I was finding that every day people saying, I'm going to Trader Joe's, what should I buy? It's like, people are sometimes can be overwhelmed by the store. They know it's awesome, but where do they begin? And I was like, this is silly. It's a recipe Facebook group, but where every day there's a question about Trader Joe's. So I said, really about 10 years ago, recently, we just had the 10th anniversary, I started a Facebook group called Kosher Trader Joe's. I have 2 admins that help moderate the group. And it has grown that group into a community of over nearly 75,000 people.
Wow.
It's incredibly active, and it's wonderful. And I call it the Trader Joe's community, because I really believe that that's what it has become. It's not just about the Takis or the Scandinavian swimmers, even though we love all of that, but it's truly a community.
People who love Trader Joe's, they swear by it.
Completely.
Again, it's exactly a cult following.
Absolutely.
So again, when you're sifting through, how do you decide what new items to feature?
I try to feature all the new items, especially if they're kosher certified. Sometimes it's hard to keep up, but I buy each new item. I try each new item. On Instagram, I try to make reels. There was one recently. I actually broke the news around the country that this flavor of mochi was coming out, black sesame.
Ooh.
And I was so excited. It went viral at the time. And I was like the first one at the door to buy it and try it. And I went outside the store with my red trolley and I tasted it. And it was not my taste.
Oh.
If I tell you,
disappointing.
there were tears in my eyes because I was like, of course I'm going to love it. I broke the news about this.
Yeah.
This is, of course.
Yeah.
I don't want to yuck someone's yum. It was not for me. And I was just, oh man. But that was fun. I'm very honest. So if I didn't like something, that's okay.
Look, I'm not a big sabich fan, but people in Israel love
Love
sabich.
it.
And I'm not, it's not for me,
not-
but let
right,
those people enjoy it.
Right.
So can you just tell us about the content that you're posting typically?
Absolutely. So really I post a lot about the new products that are there or recipes using the products that they have. And all the new products I feature them. And more recently I've been featuring products that, might be on the bottom shelf that people just don't see
Yeah.
or know about. And there's a few that I absolutely love. If I go to a different store and they have things moved around a little bit, like, guys, is this new? I'm like, Shelly, it's been there for years. But in my store, it's right on the bottom. I don't notice it. I went to another store and it was front and center. Oh, okay, now I know. So the seasonal items are always fantastic. And one thing that I've been working really hard on, and one product, I worked with the certifying agencies. It's a not certified product. It's a frozen fish. And I worked with the certifying agencies for them to actually tell me, yes, this is okay to use without certification. I'm very particular about certifications. I have one rule, whether it's in the Facebook group or on Instagram, that we don't discuss certification reliability as a group or even with myself. The reason for that is such a wonderful and diverse community. We have people from all walks of life, different levels of kashrut, and it's great. That's the wonderful thing about it all. So if one eats one thing and one doesn't eat, kol hakavod.
Yeah.
Enjoy, but that becomes tricky. That's why there's really one rule: we do not discuss the reliability. I don't know everybody in the group. If it's my friend, they can ask me, and I'll generally say, "Yeah, this is great for you," or maybe not. If I know you, I can tell you that. But if I don't know you, I'm not certainly not your rabbi or anybody's rabbi, and I really just want everyone to feel welcome and enjoy the content of either what I share or what's shared in the group.
My stomach started rumbling when I was going through your account before you arrived. It's rumbling now as we're discussing it. So the verification of kosher products, how do you do that?
So most items have a certification right on the package, which makes it super easy, right? But then there are items that also have a certification, but they might be dairy equipment, which might mean different things to different people. I'm not getting into it, but a certifying agency might I might reach out to them and say, hey, is this Pas Yisrael? Is this Yashon? Is this whatever it is that people are wanting to know about it? And then I'll just say, hey, I got this information. Here it is. There you go. There's an item. Everyone's really excited about it, is a Kerrygold butter, which is an Irish butter. There's no certification on it. It is from Ireland. But the London Beth Din, I've reached out to them, and they say, without the certification on the package, because it's European, so it's it's different, and that it's good to go. So you can have that Kerrygold butter, salted or unsalted, and it is delicious.
So I know that recently I've seen on the account that there were multiple items, or at least an item that 2 different versions of it, one had the certification and one didn't.
Correct.
Has that happened a lot?
It doesn't happen a lot. It can happen when items are coming from different factories or plants. So when I catch wind of something that that is happening, the one I believe you're talking about is the vegetable stock, which is a boxed soup.
Couldn't remember the specific, but
it's a big deal because people really love it, and it's tough because I always just tell people, don't just put things into your red trolley, right? We just have a quick glance, because at any time a haksha could come and go for whatever. It might even be just a printing error, right? We don't know, so it might not be that it's actually really not kosher, but if it's not certified, it's not certified. Just double check. But something like that happens because they've made a change in who's manufacturing it, or again, it might have just been I don't know about this product, but a printing error, something. Oftentimes, especially over COVID and things like that, items were hard to come by, so they would replace them with something else, so it's on the shelf. But it doesn't always mean that it's certified. So always double check.
Yeah, very important to double check. Of the items that you're posting or not posting, what are your favorites?
Ooh, okay. I really shouldn't say the snacks, because people that don't know Trader Joe's think they just sell snacks, which the snacks are fantastic. It's true. But I love the produce aisle, fruits and vegetables. There's always something new. Bags of salad, so super easy. But the ice cream is phenomenal. There was just a strawberry one that came out with bits of strawberry in it. Oh, wow.
I think I saw that posted. How do you engage with your followers? By the time that this comes out, you will probably have already selected your winner for your giveaway.
I did this morning.
Yes. Oh, so how, beyond this giveaway, and if you want to talk about this giveaway, go ahead. How are you engaging with your followers?
People reach out to me all the time. So in the Facebook group, that's what I consider user-generated content, which means any member of the group can post whatever they want, as long as obviously it's not spam, but really whatever they want that's relevant to the group. On Instagram, where there's nearly 34,000 followers, that's really me, unless I collab with somebody else, but really that's me. So I do a lot of stories featuring different products, behind the scenes, cooking, using the products in different recipes. There's something where there's a product and people are like, I always see it, I just don't know how to use it. I love to cook. So then I'll research a little bit on the best way to use it, how to slice it up. And there's a polenta that I make this fabulous recipe. I've got to do it. It's a lot of work to do all this content. So I do try and stretch it out as much as I can. But in terms of engagement, people reach out to me all the time, and they'll send me a message. Hey, you mentioned something. Could you have a picture of it again? I can't find it on your feed. And I'm always available. I always, I'm there 24/6 for better or worse. But I love it. It's hard to do because often people are shopping in the supermarket and then want an answer right away, and I can't always do that. But the engagement has been fantastic. Even coming here, when I said we were coming and doing this Trader Joe's tote bag of Trader Joe's items giveaway, everyone here went crazy. Firstly, they were so happy that we were coming. We felt incredibly blessed to be here. I know it's not easy for anyone to just jump on a plane and do it. And certainly after so many years, it is so emotional for us. And the followers have been along the ride with us. So for them to come with us on this trip and take them places, and they're really, supportive, and it's just great.
So how have you grown this account? Because almost 34,000 followers, that's like not very easy to
No.
do.
One by one, I'll tell you, every single one of those followers has clicked follow.
Yeah.
Never a giveaway, certainly never bought any, none of that. Really, in before Pesach, I actually came out with a Pesach guide to Trader Joe's, which went completely viral. So I actually went through every product. I went through all the lists from the OU and the CRC and everyone like that, and I created a visual guide to the items at Trader Joe's that are kosher for Passover. So it was 8 pages, and I did pictures, like a catalog of all the items, so it wasn't confusing. You just matched up the nuts, the produce, the sugar, anything that I could get verification that it was okay to use for Pesach. It was on there. The wines, the Israeli wines, it was just fabulous. So that really went viral. I had 19,000 people sign up for it in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And it really saved people. Trader Joe's is the grocery store of many, many, many people around the country. I have 3 Trader Joe's within 20 minutes from where I live. I can jump in the car and choose whichever one I go to. One follower reached out to me to thank me for the guide, and I we start chatting. I love it, and I said, where do you live? She says she lives in North Dakota. Okay. She said she drives 4 hours just to get to Trader Joe's so that she can buy her Empire chicken and, whatever, her kosher meat. That's it. Where I live on Long Island, I have 10 supermarkets within a 2-mile radius.
Yeah.
I could buy meat till the cows come home, so to speak. And, we sometimes people take that for granted.
Yeah.
And we think about the people that don't live in a community where kosher is just so available. They rely on Trader Joe's, so that when a product isn't available or was kosher and now isn't kosher, it really affects them. So in the summer when there's steak and Pesach and Hanukkah that we had. Pesach, we had the Empire brisket, which was fabulous. People stock up. They stock the freezers. And, I was in Nebraska last year and Omaha, and I went there and Oklahoma. And I would talk to them. I'd say, you guys have kosher meat here.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, people absolutely love it. They rely on it. So it's wonderful.
That's actually really refreshing also because I'm from Long Island.
Yeah.
I'm a native of the Stony Brook area, Port Jefferson Village. The nearest one to me is Lake Grove. But I also have religious cousins that live even further east than me.
Yeah.
And as you probably know, the further east on Long Island that you go, the smaller the Jewish population.
Absolutely.
And especially for one of these cousins, when she grew up in Ronkonkoma, another Long Island town,
Sure.
she would drive all the way to Nassau County to get kosher meat. And now they live in like Rocky Point, which is even like 20-30 minutes further east than me. They're about to build one, or like one is about to open. So literally like one of the very few kosher families in that part of Long Island won't have any issues accessing kosher food anymore.
It's a lifesaver. When people travel to like who knows where around the country, they travel by where Trader Joe's is.
Yeah.
Because they always know that they can pick up some chicken and, some salmon that doesn't need certification and, that's okay to use with the skin on, and different things like that. Cheeses, there are kosher cheeses there. Where else can you find kosher cheese? In the middle of, outside of the main areas. And to have that, amazing.
So also just before you talked about how sometimes it's different on the East Coast and the West Coast. I grew up on the East Coast, but I became a Trader Joe's stan going to college in Oregon. So can you just tell me a little bit about the difference between the coasts when it comes to certification?
So I don't know if there's a huge difference. Things like, the snacks and the cookies, that's pretty standard. But the things that are made more locally, like the breads, pizza dough, which is a huge staple
Yeah.
for a lot of people. I believe on the West Coast it's not kosher. Chicago, St. Louis, like different pockets of areas that it's not. That's because something like that is more regional. Even produce obviously doesn't need certification, but there are different products that are local to their area that you won't find on the east or the west or the south or the north,
Yeah.
all over. But generally, everything is pretty much the same. But the breads, if I were to guess, I think it would be the breads that can be the most different.
Again, another big question that I know everyone is wondering. Is this your full-time job?
It is not. I know people are like, what?
You're one committed cookie.
I do love it. I give it a lot. But it's fun. It's a creative outlet. We joke and I say that I'm the the Chabad of Trader Joe's or the Shlucha of Trader Joe's.
Pretty much.
And there's a certain satisfaction of truly being able to help people. And I'm talking about the people in small towns where they don't have, your large kosher supermarkets. And for them to message me and say, Shelly, thank you so much. I can now have this item at my Shabbat table. That's why I do it.
Love that.
I mean, that's why.
You're not officially associated with Trader Joe's, but they know about you?
I am not. I believe that they do.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I have actually helped with a few stores who've reached out directly and said, we know that, Passover is coming or Rosh Hashanah or Hanukkah, whatever it is, and we'd love to create a display in the store, but we're not too sure. We want to make sure that it's, appropriate and all those things. And I'm like, let me help you. So there was definitely a store in New Jersey, in Florida, Arizona, where I've told them like what goes into charoset, so that they created a stand with just items that were kosher for Passover, and the different apples and the honey and raisins, different things, walnuts that people put in their charoset, and they created a Pesach display for their Jewish community customers.
Something very important to talk about is, again, beloved Trader Joe's fan Omer Nutra has been held for nearly 700 days by Hamas.
Yeah.
We know that he loves Trader Joe's. Can you tell me about what you know about his relationship?
So Omer, I only came to realize this, the family reached out to me a few months after October 7th, that Omer was a member of the Trader Joe's community on Facebook. And when they messaged me, if I tell you, I was on the fly. I couldn't believe it. We always felt connected to Omer. We didn't know him personally, but we live on Long Island, and it was nearby, and it felt like he could have been any of our kids growing up here and became a lone soldier. So we'd go to rally after rally and try our best to bring light and hope. And then when I found out that Omer was actually a member of the Trader Joe's community, it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. So I searched his name in the Facebook group, and not only is was Omer a member, but he actually proposed to his friend using Trader Joe's products, and he made a sign. Will you be the Trader Joe's chug to my Trader Joe's hummus? And I remember it at the time. It was a few years prior, and I'm like, that's Omer. I just my head and my heart, it was all over the place. So we continued to go to rallies and always marched in the Israel Day Parade holding Omer's sign, and we went to rallies in Manhattan and always had his flag, and felt such a connection. We have a big picture of him in our home that's still there and will remain there until he truly is home with his parents and his brother. I know that his family told me that he he would love the shenanigans that went on, the jokes in the group. Really, that's what it is. It can be a silly group and fun. When we found out that unfortunately Omer was murdered on October 7th, though his body is still being held hostage by Hamas, there was a funeral. On Long Island, and I was blessed to be able to have gone.
In his hometown, Plainview.
Yes, in Plainview. I was very blessed to have been there, and I actually shut down any posts for 24 hours in his honor and in his memory, out of respect. And the community truly rallied with me for him. We felt connected to him like no other.
Yeah.
So when the news broke that he had been murdered, it was devastating.
Absolutely.
We lost one of our own. So the day I paused everything. I just didn't think it was appropriate to be talking about silly fun things for a 24-hour. We just had a pause, and then I shared, all the shiver information, everything, and the community rallied. Abby, I know that he proposed to you, and we've only recently connected. I was trying to find you and his friends, and terrible loss.
So, briefly, you mentioned something about the boycott, divest, and sanction movement.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that's impacted?
Absolutely. So really, there have been a few issues. Certainly not with Trader Joe's corporate by any means, but in individual stores, individual employees. I've spearheaded some difficult conversations with captains, which are the store managers, regarding employees that have crossed the line, whether it's putting, pro-Hamas stickers on Israeli feta cheese, things like that, just absolutely unacceptable. There's HR issues and confidentiality, but staff members that I have stepped in when there was an issue like that are no longer employed with the company. Wow. Thank God. They, even we've had employees, or there have been rather employees that removed hostage posters around Manhattan. We stepped in and we dealt with those on an individual basis. I always tell people that the followers who are upset about, rightly so, are upset about these things. But we always have to come in with kindness. And I try to sort of be the front person where I say, guys, just stand back. I'm on it. And I'll update you when there is an update. And I do that because I don't want 1,000 phone calls to a local store, because that that even though it's all positive, it's So I generally have reached out to store managers and worked one-on-one with them, and they've, when there have been issues, unfortunately on a small scale or even a large scale with Code Pink, I don't know if you're familiar with that. We've just dealt with it one by one. It's like whack-a-mole, right?
Yeah.
Another one pops up, we whack it down. But thank God, strength in numbers.
Yeah.
And certainly in my local store, they don't put up.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
I do want to give them credit, because the few times that I've been back to the States since October 7th, of course I've gone and I've stocked up, and I would say, I'm stocking up. I live abroad, and I'm a very proud Israeli American, or American Israeli, whichever way you want to put it. But of course, given the climate, I kind of tiptoe around. Yep. I'm not going to go out of my way to say, I live in Israel. But I will say that Trader Joe's employees, they have only been curious and happy and, genuinely checking in on me. They're like, you've been dealing with a lot over there. Are you okay? So I really have to give them credit where credit is due.
Absolutely. Look, like anything, you're always going to have a few bad apples, right? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But overall, even when I was filling my trolley for the giveaway here, and the staff members at my local Trader Joe's know me, they're like, Shelly, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm going to Israel and I'm doing a giveaway. And they were just so happy. Yeah. And it's great. Again, you're always going to have some pockets of issues, but overall, not something to lose sleep over.
Absolutely.
Where we, strength in numbers.
But also, thank God that you're there to step in, so they're not getting thousands of calls.
I try, and
Yeah.
I go in with kindness and calmly, not screaming and yelling. That's not going to help anything. And the times that I've had to step in, I've been incredibly impressed by the way it was handled.
So have there been, aside from BDS stuff, have there been any issues or things that you've, I guess, obstacles that you've run into while running this account?
Overall, not really. I say that it's, thank God the community has grown to over 100,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like anything, there might be a few bad apples, but it's such a great community that I feel truly blessed to spearhead it, and to really run with it. And overall, yeah, people, you know, like any Facebook group, they become a keyboard warrior. But we shut it down, you know, get shut down pretty quickly. And you know, that's one of the things that people say about what's great about the group is it really stays on track. So, you know,
Love that.
yeah.
So one last question before I do a quick little product reveal. Can you just tell me a bit about how you're able to measure the success of your account?
Sure. So the success, you could look in the back end at the insights and things like that. And I'm reaching, thank God, a few million people a month. Really nice numbers. But to me, more than the numbers, it's the engagement. People reaching out and say, hey, I saw this. I had a question about it. Can you help me with this? And I love that. I want them to be engaged. I want them to follow along. I want them to feel when we're raising money for, with Hadassah Goldberg, the real Hadassah, and we send duffel upon duffel upon duffel filled with Trader Joe's stuff for our Chayalim on the front lines. Even if someone gave $1, it's amazing. We rally together to support everybody here and Miluim wives, and the best way that we can. And truly, truly, it's community. So, you know, there are numbers you could look at and this and that, but it's a two-way street. There's trust. There's a relationship that you've built with people. It's become a family, community where we support one another, and you know, we come together when we need to, and sometimes we pause when we need to as well, and you know, really so much to be thankful for. It's Trader Joe's. It's so silly. What are we doing, right? It's a supermarket. Why are we arguing?
Exactly.
I often find myself saying, like, guys, calm down. It's a supermarket. Let's take a step back. Look at this from 35,000 feet and say, do we really need to be arguing about this? No.
Well, I'm so glad that you not only made it here, but that you were able to come speak with us.
Thank you for having
Very
me.
quickly, I want to go over some
I couldn't
of the
come
goodies that you brought us.
empty-handed.
I am so happy. So thank you, Shelly, for bringing us all
My
these
pleasure.
goodies.
I can't come empty-handed. I'd be in trouble.
I'm obsessed with all of this. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm on cloud 9 right now. So this is one product, the Synergistically.
I know, it's funny you stumble on
popcorn?
it, because there are items that, with my Australian accent, I just can't pronounce.
Yeah.
People, don't make me try and pronounce this. This is what it is.
So this looks like a really good mix. It says tangy, salty, smoky, spicy, lots of different peppers. Very excited to try this later.
All right, and I had to bring something from New York, which these are called the Half Moon cookies, but really they're black and white cookies. So yes, it's from Trader Joe's, but also it's a New York staple.
Exactly. God bless. We have these peanut butter cups, very much like Reese's, which we could get here, but it's better because it's Trader Joe's. And that's not me looking down on Reese's at all. I'm just loving Trader Joe's.
So these Carolina Gold barbecue flavored chips, people wait all year for them and literally like wipe the shelves. So these I think are fabulous. And I actually have a recipe with the the leftover chips on the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
Don't throw that out. Put it
Use it as like a crunch
on top of salmon. That's
I'm
the way
gonna
to go.
do that next time.
Don't throw out anything. You got to use every speck from the bottom of the bag.
Especially with these. These are a fan favorite. Anyone not just myself, but like so many of my friends, when they come back to Israel, this is what they get. Because again, it's like less than $3 for, personally, I like this more than the actual Takis. But again, that's nothing against the brand of Takis. But this is kosher, and this is perfect. We bring it into the office whenever I have it, because last time I came back to Israel with 4 bags of it.
Yeah.
People go crazy over this. We share it. Thank you so much for
pleasure.
coming and
Thank
for
you for
bringing all these
having me.
things. I'm
This
so
was
happy that
great.
you came in.
I would have to come back. I could bring more suitcases of snacks for all. I wish I could bring for everyone in Israel.
Next time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Shelly, for coming
pleasure.
in. I'm so glad that you were able to join us,
Thank
and
you. It's
especially with
amazing.
such a quick turnaround. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your trip.
We have been loving it.
And I will, next time I'm back visiting my family.
To go shopping and fill
we
that
will.
red trolley.
Absolutely. I love that. I look forward to it. You'll give me a
Absolutely.
tour.
You bet.
Thank you.